Hello, everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Katra's Alumni Podcast. We are back at Sportsmanlike Conduct Studio. Today, we have Stephanie Ruiz, a first-generation Latin American hailing from Boston, Massachusetts. Relocated to New York City to pursue her passion for acting at the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts. While studying, she also discovered excitement for working behind the camera, which led to production assistant roles on popular shows, including Running the World, Hunters, Blue Bloods, and 911, just to name a few. She then worked her way up to executive assistant TV director, Millicent Shelton, and subsequently assistant creator, executive producer, Leigh Davenport. As a result of working with two fearless powerhouse women in the industry, Stephanie was able to absorb filmmaking at an early age. It was at this point that Stephanie knew her true passion was going to be telling her own stories and turned to creating her own films. Well, Stephanie, thank you for joining us here. I appreciate you coming out. As I ask all our filmmakers that walk through our doors, how did you get started in show business?
Well, I come from an acting background. I went to the New York Conservatory for Dramatic Arts, and that was initially my only goal, was to be an actor. But then I shortly discovered that I needed a day job. And so I asked friends around who were either PAing or just working on sets to just let them know I'd be happy to help in any way. So I started PAing on a TV show on Amazon. It was called Hunters. With Al Pacino. It was very, very fun experience.
Awesome show, I gotta add. I saw
it was really good. Actually just watched it like a couple months ago, and I worked on that like a couple years ago. But yeah, I started PAing on those shows, and directors kind of started to notice just my work ethic, and I was just really on top of everything. And I got picked up as an assistant by Millicent Shelton, and she brought me on to other shows like 911 on Fox, Run the World on Stars. And yeah, I was just a fly on the wall, just absorbing everything and everyone. And that's kind of how I got started.
That's awesome. I mean, I worked as a PA myself, so I know the work ethic that is required.
Yeah, it's long hours, and shout out to all the production assistants.
It's a thankless job sometimes, but it's definitely, I mean, it's without the PAs.
Seriously.
There's no series, there's no movies.
Yeah, people, they really go overlooked. And yeah, just having all these small jobs in every show kind of just inspired me to start creating my own work. Working under Millicent and working under Leigh Davenport, the showrunner and producer, writer. They both really paved a way for me. So I started creating my own movies.
That's awesome. So for those who don't know, so a lot of our audience members are a lot of up-and-coming emerging filmmakers, or they're film students trying to figure out if this is the career path that they want to choose. How does someone get a production assistant job, and what should they expect when they do land that job?
Well, I think, you have to start with the resources that you have. I fortunately had friends who were working in the industry here in New York City, but for those who don't have that kind of network, I would suggest going on Facebook groups, seeing independent filmmaking groups, and usually most people are on these groups because their job is done or they are looking for more work to pick up. And so these people are already working on sets, and you just need that one connection. You just need that one person who will vouch for you. And so if you do work on these smaller projects and PA on them, work very hard. Just show your best self, because that will go a long way and it will help you get onto these bigger sets. And put some respect on your name, work, show that you're good at what you do and that you want to be there. So once you are on these TV shows, like what happened to me, the directors notice. People really do notice when you put your all into it. And I think that's what you should be doing when you do get on these sets.
And they call you back for that second or third job.
Correct. That's exactly
that's
it.
What once you get a job, that first job, it'll snowball and people remember you. Oh, we need to hire somebody because, it's freelancing. So there's always stuff. There's work and then there's a break in between the next gig.
And I mean, believe it or not, like it could also go the other way. Like if you're not putting your best self, like the industry is small. If you don't believe that, it is.
Very, very small.
Everyone knows each other. So like give a great impression and keep it that way. Because it will either blacklist you or it'll keep you coming back.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't mean to like put a
no. We have to. That's why I like to be as frank as possible with our audience. It's you want to put your best foot forward, like you said. You want to show that you want to be there.
Exactly.
And that goes for not only our industry,
right? Everything.
It goes for anything. Like you work, even if you don't like your job, don't show that.
No.
Don't just be there, big smiles. You love what you do, and it'll pay off in the long run.
It will. It definitely will, and it'll definitely bring you back if you do that.
Yeah, definitely. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, what was your favorite TV show to work on as a PA? I know you have tons of experience.
I think I have different shows for different reasons. Like my top one would probably be Hunters, and it was my first job, even though it was one of like the longer hours, longer days. Hunters had so many fantastic locations that you would never know about. If you saw the series, like it was a period piece, and we were just in these beautiful, prestigious locations, and it made work feel not like work. So I really enjoyed that. And also since working alongside Millicent, I was kind of just near all of the actors. So that meant being near like one of the greatest actors of all time, Al Pacino, and seeing him work like just right in front of me, just snapping right into it was just so commendable, just jaw dropping. He's so good at what he does. It was one of the most fascinating jobs to work on. My second top TV show that I worked on was Run the World. It was just great vibes. It was about 4 women navigating Harlem in like their mid 20s to 30s. And it really showed a very fresh perspective on women because it came from women. Leigh Davenport was the writer and producer, and Yvette Lee Bowser was the showrunner on it. And it was just refreshing that like it really inspired me to then move on with my own career. So those were my top 2 TV shows that I loved working on.
That's awesome. Now, you mentioned being working with this female filmmaker. Can you talk a little bit about some of the challenges you face as a Latin American female filmmaker and how you're able to overcome it?
Yeah, some challenges are, frankly, like you're not taken seriously. You kind of have to prove your worth, that you know what you're doing. And that does come from experience. So how I overcome those is to study. You have to really be educated on what you're doing. You have to study the people that you want to be like. I mean, not everyone comes from film school. I don't come from film school. I come from an acting school. I then went on to take courses at Sundance, just with the smaller projects I had directed prior and, showed those. But it's just studying the greats, learning, asking questions, and then executing, putting what you've learned into effect. And that's how I kind of overcome the stigma of, she doesn't know what she's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, it's because I hear from other female filmmakers. It's still a lot of challenges.
Yeah, it is. And also, there's just not enough opportunity for like the stories that are being told to be told by Latinas too. Like we just have a perspective on certain things that we just don't get the opportunity to show. So I'm glad that Hollywood's like making an effort, but it's definitely not enough.
Yeah.
think, like, I saw a report today on Deadline about how diversity is just dropping as the years goes. I think it was like, what was it? The top 50 TV shows, it's like 39% of it was just non-white, but Hispanics were falling short, under 6% of representation on screen. And I was just like, what? How? Why? Like, why are our shows not reoccurring or continuing or getting the viewership that it needs?
Because they're not financing it.
I know.
Those
we need
big studio heads, the suits, as I love to call them.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of suits. They just, they're not financing it. You know?
And
give us the money.
Right.
We'll take the money. We'll make some Latin content over here.
Seriously, Eva Longoria is doing a great job at it.
She's doing great. Yeah.
She's doing great. And I think we also have to change this mindset that, like, not change your mindset, but we need to start looking at these leadership roles. We need to start redirecting our focus and occupying these seats, because those are the people who are changing the rest of the game, changing the industry. So that's also now been a new perspective in me. And I'm like, all right, acting was my first step. Directing was my next. I'm like, maybe I need to look higher. like if we want to change the industry, we got to get higher.
You got to be the gatekeeper.
Exactly. You know? We got to be the gatekeepers.
Switch the guards, as they say. Right? It's, you got to give us a shot. I mean, listen, Hollywood, they're in the business to make money.
Right. Correct.
And, you know, there's a lot of Latinx people out there that they're looking for stuff that resonates with them.
Right.
And I think if they just give us a little money.
Bad Boys, I think, showed an example of that. Like, you know, BIPOC or people of color, like, really show up and show out when they do resonate with the content. It's like, we do go.
Yeah.
We just got to give us the opportunity to make it so people can go.
That's it. Just give us a shot.
Yeah.
That's all it takes. It's one shot. All right, let's switch gears a little bit here. Being an actress and director, that's amazing. By the way, you mentioned before that you didn't go to film school, and because I went through the whole film school thing, so that's why I'm really impressed by your career trajectory and what you're doing now as a director. Being an actress and director, because you do both of them, what's your process like? How do you work with actors? Do you find it easier to direct because you have experience? Being in front of the camera? Can you talk a little?
Yeah, I think it really actually changed a lot for me. Coming from an acting background, like, you have this insight on actions and wants and needs than you would if you just had. I mean, I can't really speak for most people, but as a director, when I started learning in these Sundance's classes, it also was very technical. Mm-hmm. But then I really wanted to hone in on, like, the message and the theme and the emotions that are being conveyed to each actor and what they want from each other. So it gave me an extra layer of just texture to my shorts. I actually just shot my last new short just about 2 weeks ago, and I was acting and directing. That was very difficult. I had a co-director with me to help execute my vision for it. Storyboarded, shot listed, and I had my co-director, Kelsey Cabell, who then helped me come to set and make sure I executed the shots, the theme, the message, the acting when I was on screen. It's so difficult. I commend everyone who does anything like that or even touches, like, both those jobs and roles at the same time. But I think the way to overcome that as well is just being overly prepared as both an actor and director, because if you're not prepared enough, it takes you out of it. As an actor, like, you need to know your lines inside out, forward, backward, like, blindly. So any adjustment that the director gives you, you're able to take. Then as a director, if we're coming across, like, time constraints and just, I don't know, location issues, equipment issues, whatever it is, you need to adapt on the fly. Like, time is money. It really is. And so you just have to be so overwhelmingly prepared on both ends.
Yeah. You can never be too prepared.
No, you can't.
You can never be too prepared. I always mention Murphy's Law, you know, no matter how much you prepare, you could work 24/7 for like 6 months, something will go wrong.
It will, and just expect it. But, it's okay. Go with the flow, but know that things like that are going to happen. And so be as prepared as you can so you can just adapt.
Definitely.
Yeah. Did that answer the question? I don't know. I answered like a bunch.
You got to the point. Yeah, the process. You got into it. What do you enjoy more? Acting or directing? Or you just love it both?
I love them both, but I
hate acting. I tried.
Really?
I tried to direct myself in a film and it did not go too good. It was a film that I will never release anyway.
Wait, I need to see it. What is it?
No, I'm not gonna tell you. No, forget about that. I didn't say nothing.
Now I'm going to deep dive the web.
It wasn't. I wasn't proud. You know how it is.
Yeah.
I watched it one time, never saw it again. I'm like, that's it.
Sometimes I like cringe at what I do, and I'm like, oh my god.
It did screen at a festival at the Long Island. At that time, it was called the Long Island. Well, they're no longer around. Long Island International Latino Film Festival in the Hamptons. It was I premiered a huge theater out there with like 2 people in the audience.
No,
it was cool to watch on a big.
It was on a screen.
Yeah, the movie themselves. But yeah, I wasn't too proud of it.
Well, acting, I really hold near and dear to my heart. It is the best form of expression for myself. Like, it's a full embodiment of creativity. Like, it's literally in my body, and projecting it on screen or to someone else. And then to then find out like your audience members or whoever's watching, like, really connects with you and even evokes emotion out of that. Like, I thrive off of that. But I've then come to learn as I've gotten older and just experience, like, it felt more of like I was just a puzzle piece or a piece from the bigger picture, and the directing side of it has more of an opinion on what the audience actually gets to see and what you're actually trying to educate and show to your audiences. And I felt like that had more meaning to me in my overall like goal in life. So directing now has just been an eye-opening experience that I know I can share a bigger message. It's no longer about me anymore. It's about connecting to masses, going to festivals, screening at places, getting feedback from people, starting conversations. So directing is now a new platform for me that I'm in love with. So I don't know. I really love them both for their own individual reasons.
Do you love educating the audience more than entertaining? Are you big on the educational?
That's my struggle now. That's my of like, what do I like more? I think it's fulfilling to be creatively just acting and just being there. But I don't know. I feel like directing has more of a fulfillment for life. Like, what do I want to do when I'm off? Like, when I'm gone and there's no more Stephanie, like, what did I leave here? Yeah. Like, how did I move people? What did I do for the world? I know it's like so shallow and like we work in TV and film, like we're not curing cancer, but like, what is my footprint here? And so I think directing has allowed me to think that way.
It's a very powerful medium.
Yeah, it is. It really, really is. Like, media is so, so powerful in how it influences people, and just what we're influencing people with. Are we doing it for the better of good? Like, what are we doing with our media? So I think I now want to be on the front line of what people are watching.
That's great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm both. I love both. I love educational films. I love films that entertain.
Yeah.
So that's great.
If I had to pick directing style, Ava DuVernay does this very well. We were talking earlier about When They See Us. It was such an educational film, but it was also just creatively empowering and moving. It was
entertaining too.
It was entertaining. It was very
gritty,
entertaining.
Very New York gritty.
Yes. I love things of that theme. I love films of that theme. She does it so well. So, Yeah, I like entertaining as well. Like, I'm not going to be like education all the time. Like, yes, I would love to educate, but I do love entertainment as well.
Awesome. So now I'm going to switch it up. This first time I want to it's a new fun question, I call it, that we're trying to do. We're trying to spice up the podcast thing. What's your favorite Latin authentic cuisine and why?
I could be biased here and be like bandeja paisa.
Ooh,
but for those of you who don't know what a bandeja paisa is, it's a Colombian traditional dish. It's rice, chicharrón, which is like pork, egg, avocado, and some meat. God, it's so good.
But guilty pleasure.
It is. But my partner has introduced me to Venezuelan food. And oh my God, they're arepas rellenas, which is like just filled corn tortillas with just like meat, sauces, like beans. It's so good. It's so good. So Venezuelan food is up there for me now.
Awesome. Cool.
Are we talking about cities? Or are we talking about like Latin food?
Latin American food.
Or yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be Latin, but like that's preferably what I like right now.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Figure we have a Latina here in the house.
Gotta represent.
Gotta ask some. So movies. We're talking about movies before. Any new movies you're excited to watch in an actual movie theater on the big screen?
I know Joker is coming out.
Joker.
Yeah. I was very, very fond of the first Joker, directed by Todd Phillips. The color, just the shots, just the theme, just everything was done so well. So I'm very excited to see a sequel. And now with Lady Gaga, I'm like, whoa.
Lady Gaga, Joker Part 2.
I know. Joaquin Phoenix, very big fan of him. So I'm like, what more can we see? Like, it was so good.
The first one was so, I don't know how they're going to top that.
I
don't know how that first one was mesmerizing.
Also, if you ever have a PA role,
You're still doing PA? You're a big shot director now.
No. That's something I love. Like, if it's something I'm very passionate about, I'm like, I will work on your show, movie, whatever it is. That's something I like.
It is fun to work on set. I miss working on set sometimes. It's like,
I know
these festivals can get a little daunting.
Yeah. You're watching a lot of movies.
Not me, my programming team. I'm done with watching the movies. I watch them in the theater. The night of, I'll walk in and check them out.
You're like, what's this?
Yeah. I want to be entertained, I want to go in there and be surprised, No,
I mean, I would PA, but I am more focused on directing. But if it's a really good opportunity and people also need help and friends who are asking, I'm like, I am down to just work. I'm down to work.
Down to work. That should be the slogan for 2024.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now that things are coming back after the strikes, production's coming back.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's coming back slowly. No,
it is coming back. That's the word in the street.
Slowly, but
slowly but surely. I think things are gonna start picking up really fast. Cool. That's it. Oh, one last question I have for you. Before we let you go. Any piece of advice for emerging filmmakers on making a film?
I maybe have like two. One, collaborate. I know we're all trying to get paid out here. I know we're all like discovering our self-worth and we want to have money, and I get it. But sometimes you need to collaborate for the experience. You need to learn from other people. You need to be inspired by other people. So big or small, collaborate. And my second piece of advice would be, if you admire somebody or you admire their work, reach out to them. Like, they're more than likely to give you advice. They're more than likely to give you the time of day. Like, I was telling you earlier about the Ava DuVernay thing. Yeah. On Instagram, I was just like so inspired. I came back from a festival, won an award. I was like, I want to look at all the directors that I admire and look up to. And I just mentioned her on Instagram. And she shared, I was like, can I please shadow you for a day? That would be like dream goals, whatever, director goals. And she responded. She was like, sure. And I was like, what? That's crazy. And I've done that with other independent filmmakers too, who like Gabriela Ortega as well. She's a rising filmmaker, Latina Dominican director. She also came from acting background. So she's definitely like in line. She's at the Sundances. She's at the South by Southwest. She's at all of the big festivals. And I really admired her career path. So, you know, it's like reach out to the people that you look up to. Like, they will answer your questions. They will give you advice. So yeah, I think those are my 2 pieces of advice.
And follow up. If they don't respond, you know, they're busy people.
Yeah, they're busy.
They're doing tons of stuff. Just follow up. Be persistent.
Yeah, be persistent.
Very persistent.
Oh, that's another thing. Like, don't ever give up. Like, you're in this for the long haul. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Like, you need to look at your filmmaking career as an entire life journey. Like, what?
No, I was gonna say there's no plan B.
There is no plan B.
If this is what you want to do,
yeah,
you gotta go for it.
You have to have like these blinders on, and you just gotta go and do it and keep doing it and do not give up.
I can't say it better myself, but I do remember a story. I don't know if do you know David Mamet, the director?
Yeah.
Famous movie. He once told, I heard a story about him through a friend that he had he used to have a class, an acting class.
Yeah.
And he would the first day of class, he would have everybody would come in and he would ask 2 questions. Who here has a plan B? Oh, it was one question. Who here has a plan B? And like half the class would raise their hand. He's like, all of you just leave because you're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it. You know, if you wanna, if this is what you're gonna do, if this is what your dream, your passion, you gotta stay here.
Yes.
There's no plan B. And the friend I know, he owned a restaurant. He's like, I have plan B. I just left.
It's like I did have another job.
And real estate business, and this guy he was set, but
it's true, because like then you start like shifting your focus in different areas, and it's like, no, your focus should be on this. This is it for you. I mean, I get it. We got to pay rent, we got to pay bills, but this is it.
Yeah.
You do not give up. You just keep going. I've never seen anyone fail from like just like, what is it called? Just doing it. I've never seen it. If you don't make it in your 50s, 60s, 30s, 20s, whatever it is, like you're eventually going to.
It's never too late.
No, it's never too late.
Never too late. You keep going. I know it gets hard. The days like, what am I doing? You're by yourself at home. You're like, why am I still doing this?
Yeah. I definitely have those moments. I don't think we all do. We all do. And anyone who says they don't is lying. Like it's a hard industry, and as any other, but you just have to keep going. It'll eventually work out.
It does. You will. As long as you put in the work and energy.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Stephanie, anything else you want to add? What's your next project? You want to say, where can we follow you? Your website, you want to plug?
I just directed my short psychological thriller. It's called Happy Anniversary. It's in the festival circuit now. It just won an award for audience favorite at the Fort Myers Film Festival, which was very exciting and kind of rewarding. And now we're waiting to hear back from like 30 other festivals. Katra film series.
Coming soon. We're still in the final stages.
No, I also then just directed a short inspiring comedy. It's called Espiritu. It's about like an immigrant father who passes away and leaves his clueless daughter with the auto body shop. The family auto body shop, and she's just navigating how to run the business, and then comes to find out her true legacy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's short, it's inspiring. I'm acting and directing in it. It's my first time ever acting and directing, so I'm editing it now. I'm having another editor on it next week. We're in the midst of it, in the trenches, and we're ready for next year's festival circuit. Getting ready for next year's festival circuit. But those are my 2 projects on my plate, and I'm also like collaborating with some industry peeps. And I can't really reveal those yet. But people can follow me at Directed by Stephanie on Instagram. My website is stephruiz.com. And that's where you can find my work, my films, on both those platforms. So yeah, that's all I have right now.
Awesome, Steph. Well, we look forward. We're big fans here. We look forward to seeing more of your work in the future. Thank you again so much for being here.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate it.
And thank you guys for having me. This was honestly very lovely.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, that's it, everybody. Thank you for joining us for another episode of Katra's Alumni Podcast. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, X at Katra Film Series. We got our sister festival, Katra Latinx Festival, happening July 15th through the 18th at Regal Essex Crossings and a few other places. We got some cool networking events, after parties, filmmaker Q&As. It's going to be fun. Check it out. And I think that's it. Thank you all, and we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Peace.
Not a little.